Captain Dae-ho Kim stood at the massive window of the bridge looking out at the stars. Behind him, the bridge crew worked at their stations, checking systems one last time. The ship around them was bigger than anything humans had ever built before. It was 15 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide. They called it the Goliath's Hammer. Dae-ho had served in space for 20 years, but this was different. This ship was not made for exploring or trading. It was made for war. The puck weapons on this ship could destroy entire planets. The shields could stop anything the enemy might throw at them. At least that was what the engineers promised. "Captain, all systems are ready," said So-Ra Choi from the communication station. She was young, only 25, but she was the best at her job. The government had trained her to talk to aliens, though no one knew if they would ever meet any. "Thank you, So-Ra," Dae-ho said. He pressed a button on his chair. "Admiral Park, this is Captain Kim. We are ready to launch." Admiral Hyjin Park's voice came through the speakers. She was back on Earth, watching from the command center. "Good work, Captain. You know your mission. Take the hammer beyond our solar system. Show the galaxy that humanity is here and ready to defend itself." Dae-ho nodded even though she could not see him. "Understood, Admiral. We will make contact if we find anyone out there." The truth was, they already knew someone was out there. For 50 years, Earth's deep space sensors had picked up strange signals. Ships that moved too fast to be natural. Energy readings that made no sense. The scientists argued about what it all meant, but the military knew. Aliens existed, and they were watching Earth. That was why they built the Goliath's Hammer. If aliens were out there, humanity needed to be ready. They needed to show strength from the very beginning. "Chief Engineer Lee, how are our engines?" Dae-ho asked. Tae-min Lee looked up from his console. He was a small man with thick glasses, but his mind was brilliant. He had designed most of the ship's systems himself. "Engines are perfect, Captain. The new fusion drives will get us to Alpha Centauri in 3 months. The old ships would have taken 50 years. "What about weapons?" "All weapon systems are online. We have enough firepower to fight a small war," Tae-min said with pride. "The railguns can hit targets from 1,000,000 kilometers away. The plasma cannons can cut through any armor. And the nuclear missiles, well, let's hope we don't need those." Dae-ho walked to the center of the bridge. Around him, 300 crew members worked at their stations throughout the ship. They were the best of the best. Pilots, engineers, soldiers, scientists, and doctors. If humanity was going to meet aliens for the first time, they would do it right. "All stations prepare for launch," Dae-ho announced over the ship's communication system. "This is a historic day. We are the first humans to leave our solar system in a ship built for war. We go not because we want to fight, but because we must be ready to fight. The galaxy is unknown, and we will face it with strength." The crew responded with efficiency. Engines warmed up with a deep rumble that ran through the ship's hull. The massive fusion reactors came to full power. Energy shields flickered to life around the ship's armor plating. So-Ra looked at her instruments. "Captain, I'm picking up. Launch clearance from Earth Control. We are free to depart." "Very good. Tae-min, take us out." The Goliath's hammer began to move. Despite its enormous size, it moved smoothly and quietly. The orbital shipyard where it was built grew smaller behind them. Earth appeared in the main screen, blue and beautiful, the home they were leaving to explore the unknown. "Speed increasing," Tae-min reported. "We will reach the edge of the solar system in 6 hours." As they flew past Mars, Dae-ho thought about the decision to build this ship. Many people on Earth had argued against it. They said it was too expensive, too aggressive, too dangerous. Why not build exploration ships instead? Why not try to make peaceful contact first? But the military leaders knew better. Every signal they detected suggested that aliens had advanced technology. If first contact went wrong, humanity needed to be able to defend itself. Better to appear strong and be proven peaceful than to appear weak and be destroyed. "Captain," So-Ra called out, "I'm getting some interesting readings on the deep space sensors." Dae-ho walked over to her station. "What kind of readings?" "Energy signatures very faint. They're coming from multiple star systems. It's like someone is watching us." The bridge became quiet. Everyone knew this might happen. But actually, seeing it was different. Can you tell how many? Daeho asked. At least a dozen different sources. Maybe more. Captain, I think our launch has been noticed. Daeho felt a chill run down his spine. For 50 years, aliens had watched Earth from a distance. Now humanity had built a warship and was heading into space. The Watchers would have to respond somehow. Keep monitoring those signals, he ordered. Let me know if anything changes. Dr. Yoon Ji-yoon, the ship's science officer, spoke up from her station. Captain, this could be exactly what we hoped for. If aliens have been watching us, they know we're intelligent. Our ship will show them we're also strong. Or it will make them think we're dangerous, said Lieutenant Jun Seo-an from the weapons station. He was young, but had trained for years to fight in space battles. A ship this size with these weapons, it's a statement. That's the point, Daeho said. We want them to know we can defend ourselves. If they come in peace, we'll respond in peace. If they come with war, well, we'll be ready. The Goliath's hammer continued its journey toward the outer solar system. Behind them, automatic systems throughout the solar system detected the ship's massive energy signature and recorded its path. These same systems had been built to watch for alien ships, but now they tracked humanity's own warship as it headed into the unknown. On Earth, Admiral Hee-jin Park watched the ship's progress on her screens. Around her, dozens of technicians monitored every system on the hammer through quantum communication links. So far, everything was working perfectly. Ma'am, one of the technicians called out. We're detecting increased activity on the deep space sensors. Multiple alien signatures are moving. Admiral Park nodded. She had expected this. Keep tracking everything. Captain Kim and his crew know what to do. Back on the Goliath's hammer, the crew prepared for whatever might come. They had trained for years for this mission, but now it was real. They were leaving the safety of their solar system and heading into a galaxy full of unknown civilizations. As they passed the orbit of Pluto, Taemin activated the ship's main engines. The fusion drives could push them to nearly 20% of light speed. It would take them 3 months to reach the nearest star system, but once they arrived, they would arrive as representatives of humanity's strength and determination. Course set for Alpha Centauri, Taemin reported. Take us to maximum speed, Daeho ordered. The stars ahead grew brighter as the Goliath's hammer accelerated into interstellar space. Behind them, Earth's solar system grew smaller and dimmer. Ahead lay the unknown and humanity's first contact with whatever civilizations ruled the galaxy. The war for humanity's place among the stars was about to begin. Vextar floated in the energy field that served as his body, watching the data streams flow through his consciousness. As an elder of the Keth Collective, he had observed the rise and fall of civilizations for over 10,000 years. But this was something new. The readings were clear. A massive ship had just launched from the third planet of the small yellow star that the locals called Sol. But this was not like the other ships that young species usually built when they first reached the stars. This was a warship. Elder Vextar, came the mental voice of younger Zixtal. The energy readings are unlike anything in our records. This ship appears to be designed for combat on a scale we have never seen from a new species. Vextar examined the data more carefully. The ship was 15 kilometers long, powered by fusion reactors that could supply energy to a small planet. Its weapon systems could destroy entire fleets. Most troubling of all, the species that built it seemed to have developed these technologies in complete isolation. In all our years of watching, Vextar thought to his fellow Keth, we have seen thousands of species reach the stars. They build exploration ships, trade vessels, colony ships. This species built a weapon. The other energy beings in the collective shared their concern through their mental link. Most species developed space travel for peaceful reasons. They wanted to explore, to trade, to spread their population to new worlds. The humans had different priorities. What do we know of their development? Asked Elder Quinvel. They have been aware of our presence for approximately 50 of their years, Vextar replied. Our sensor networks detected their deep space monitoring systems long ago. They knew they were not alone in the galaxy, yet they chose to respond with this. The implications were disturbing. Most species, when they realized they were being watched by advanced civilizations, tried to make peaceful contact. They sent out radio signals, built monuments that could be seen from space, or developed technologies that would demonstrate their intelligence and peaceful intentions. The humans built a warship that could challenge the greatest military powers in the galaxy. Across the galaxy on the beautiful water world of Renar Prime, Ambassador Quindala reviewed the same data with growing alarm. The Renari Federation was an alliance of 43 different species, all united by their commitment to peace and cooperation. They had been the mediators of galactic conflicts for over 8,000 years. "This changes everything," Quindala said to the assembled council. Her blue-scaled skin reflected the light from Renar Prime's twin suns as she gestured at the holographic display showing the human warship. "Never in our recorded history has a species announced itself to the galaxy with such a display of military power." Council Speaker Delmarian, an insect-like being from the hive worlds, clicked his mandibles in agreement. "The ship's design suggests they have been preparing for large-scale warfare. These are not the actions of a species seeking peaceful contact. But consider their position," argued Dr. Velnaris, the Federation's expert on developing species. "They detected our presence decades ago, but received no response to their attempts at communication. Perhaps they built this ship out of fear, not aggression." Ambassador Quindala was not convinced. Fear can be more dangerous than aggression. A species that builds weapons when afraid may use those weapons when frightened. The council chamber fell silent as they considered the implications. The Renari Federation had always welcomed new species into the galactic community with care and patience. They would send small, obviously peaceful ships to make first contact. They would share basic technologies and cultural exchanges. They would guide new civilizations into becoming productive members of galactic society. But what do you do when the new species arrives with enough firepower to threaten entire star systems? "We must attempt peaceful contact," Dr. Velnaris insisted. "Our principles demand it. Perhaps once they understand that we mean no harm, they will lower their weapons. Or perhaps they will see our peaceful approach as weakness and attack," replied military advisor Kexthar, one of the few Renari who had served in the old wars. "This ship was not built to explore. It was built to conquer." On the dark world of Scyther Prime, War Marshal Krexthon studied the human warship with very different eyes. The hegemony of Scythor had conquered 40 star systems through superior military technology and ruthless tactics. They understood the language of power, and the humans were speaking it loudly. "Magnificent," Krexthon growled, his reptilian features twisted in what might have been a smile. "Finally, a species that understands reality. The galaxy belongs to the strong." His aide, Sub-Marshal Dexkun, was less impressed. "Marshal, their technology appears to be crude but effective. Brute force rather than elegance." "Sometimes brute force is exactly what you need," Krexthon replied. "Look at these weapon specifications. Those railguns could punch through our best shields. Those nuclear missiles could crack a planet's crust. These humans think like warriors." The War Marshal began pacing around the holographic display of the human ship. The hegemony's fleet was powerful, but it had been built to conquer primitive species and maintain control over existing territories. This human ship appeared to be designed for a different kind of war entirely. "What do we know about their home system?" he asked. "Single inhabited planet, approximately 7 billion individuals," reported Intelligence Officer Nexvar. "They appear to be divided into multiple political groups, but they united to build this ship. That suggests strong military organization when threatened." "Interesting. Most species fragment under pressure. These humans came together." Krexthon was beginning to respect these aliens he had never met. "What is their destination?" "Long range. Tracking suggests they are heading for the Alpha Centauri system. If they maintain current speed, they will arrive in approximately 3 standard months." Krexthon made his decision quickly. The hegemony had survived by being either stronger than their enemies or smart enough to ally with powerful forces. These humans might be exactly what the hegemony needed. "Prepare a battle fleet," he ordered. "Not to attack, but to demonstrate our strength. If we are going to deal with these humans, they need to understand what they are facing. Marshal, the Renari Federation will certainly attempt peaceful contact first, warned Sub-Marshal Dexcoon. Let them, Krexthon replied. When they're peaceful. Words fail against human weapons, the hegemony will be ready to offer an alternative. These humans clearly prefer to speak the language of power. We are fluent in that language. Throughout the galaxy, other civilizations were also responding to the news of humanity's warship. The ancient builders, who had created most of the galaxy's infrastructure, emerged from their long isolation to discuss this development. The mysterious void walkers, who existed in the space between stars, began moving toward human space for the first time in millennia. Trade networks that had operated peacefully for thousands of years suddenly began discussing military preparations. Neutral zones that had never needed protection started requesting Federation peacekeeping forces. The balance of power that had kept the galaxy stable was shifting, all because one species had built one ship. But perhaps most significantly, the automated monitoring stations that various civilizations had placed throughout the galaxy were all reporting the same thing. The human ship was accelerating beyond its projected speed. Its energy output was increasing, rather than maintaining a steady level. This suggested that the massive warship was not running at full power during its launch. The weapons, engines, and shields that had impressed galactic observers were apparently operating at reduced capacity. If the humans had built their first interstellar ship with such overwhelming capabilities while holding back their full technological potential, what might their next ships be capable of? As the Goliath's hammer continued its journey toward Alpha Centauri, civilizations across the galaxy began preparing for a future that suddenly seemed much more dangerous and uncertain. The age of peaceful expansion and careful diplomacy was ending. The age of human strength was about to begin. The alarm on the bridge of the Goliath's hammer was not loud, but it got everyone's attention immediately. Captain Dae-Ho Kim was reviewing supply reports when the sound made him look up sharply. "Contact, Captain," Sora Choi called from her station. Her voice was steady, but Dae-Ho could hear the excitement underneath. "We have a ship approaching from the Alpha Centauri system." This was the moment they had all prepared for, but somehow it still felt unreal. After 3 months of traveling through empty space, they were finally going to meet aliens. "Put it on." "The main screen," Dae-Ho ordered. The bridge's main display showed a ship unlike anything in human imagination. It was smooth and curved, almost like a living thing. It was much smaller than the Goliath's hammer, perhaps only 500 meters long, and it seemed to glow with its own soft light. "Analysis?" Dae-Ho asked. Dr. Yoon worked quickly at her science station. "Captain, the ship appears to be made of some kind of biometal. It's definitely artificial, but the construction methods are completely unknown to us. No obvious weapons, but that doesn't mean they aren't there. Size comparison. About 1/30th our size, but energy. Readings suggest very advanced technology. Captain, I think this is a scout ship." Lieutenant Jun Seo-an spoke up from the weapons station. "Sir, should I power up our defensive systems?" "Not yet," Dae-Ho decided. "If they wanted to attack us, they probably would have done it already. Sora, can you establish communication?" Sora was already working on it. She had spent years learning how to talk to aliens, even though no one knew what aliens might be like. "I'm sending out mathematical sequences, basic physics constants, anything that should be universal." The alien ship maintained its distance, about 50,000 kilometers away, close enough to communicate easily, far enough to run if things went wrong. "Captain, I'm getting a response," Sora announced, her voice full of wonder. It's mathematical at first, but now they're sending what looks like language patterns. Can you understand it?" "Not yet, but my computer is working on it." "Wait. Captain, I think they're learning our language from our transmissions. This is incredible." Dr. Yoon shook her head in amazement. To learn an unknown language that quickly, their computer systems must be far beyond ours. After 20 minutes of back-and-forth transmissions, Sora suddenly sat up straight. "Captain, I have translation. The alien ship is requesting permission to communicate directly. Permission granted, put it through." A voice came through the bridge speakers, strangely musical but clearly speaking English. Greetings, massive human vessel. I am Scout Captain Velnaris of the Renari Federation ship. Peaceful Dawn. We welcome you to interstellar space. The bridge crew exchanged glances. It was actually happening. First contact with an alien species, and they were speaking English. Daeho cleared his throat. This is Captain Daeho Kim of the Earth ship Goliath's Hammer. We are honored to meet you, Scout Captain Velnaris. There was a pause before the alien responded. Captain Kim, we must admit surprise at your vessel's specifications. In our experience, species new to interstellar travel typically construct exploration ships or trade vessels. Your ship appears to be designed for warfare on a massive scale. Daeho felt the weight of humanity's first impression settling on his shoulders. How do you explain to an alien that you built a warship because you were afraid of aliens? Scout Captain, our ship was built for protection. We detected evidence of advanced civilizations in the galaxy and wanted to ensure we could defend ourselves if necessary. Another pause. Defend yourselves from whom, Captain? From you. From anyone who might see humanity as a threat or a target. The alien's next words surprised everyone on the bridge. Captain Kim, in 50,000 years of galactic civilization, no species has ever been attacked simply for being new to space travel. The galaxy has many dangers, but established civilizations do not prey upon developing ones. Dr. Yoon Ji-yoon whispered to Daeho, Captain, I think we may have made a mistake. But before Daeho could respond, Lieutenant Jun Seo-on spoke up urgently. Captain, long-range sensors are detecting multiple fleets moving toward our position. We have at least 3 different groups approaching, each with dozens of ships. The implications hit everyone at once. Humanity's first interstellar ship had gotten the attention of every major power in the galaxy. Scout Captain Velnaris, Daeho, said carefully, Are those your ships approaching? Some of them are Federation vessels, yes. Others, Captain, your ship has caused quite a stir throughout the galaxy. The hegemony of Scythor is sending a battle fleet. The Keth Collective has dispatched observers, and several other civilizations are converging on this area. Are we in danger? That depends largely on your intentions, Captain. A ship of your size and capabilities represents a significant change in galactic balance. Many civilizations are concerned about what humanity plans to do with such power. Chief Engineer Taemin Lee had been quietly running diagnostics during the conversation. He looked up from his console with worry in his eyes. Captain, if we're about to face multiple fleets, I should tell you something. We're currently running at about 60% of full capacity. What do you mean? I mean the engines, weapons, and shields can all be pushed much harder than we've been running them. I kept us at reduced power to save energy for the return trip. If we need to fight, how much harder can we push the systems? Maybe double our current output. The ship was over-engineered for exactly this kind of situation. Sora was monitoring alien communications on multiple frequencies. Captain, I'm picking up transmissions between the approaching fleets. They're debating whether to treat us as a threat or a potential ally. Some of them are arguing for immediate attack. Daeho made a decision that would change the course of human history. Scout Captain Velnaris, we would like to meet with representatives of these civilizations. We came here to make contact, not to fight. But we will defend ourselves if attacked. Captain Kim, I will arrange for a meeting at Haven's Rest, a neutral station in this system. However, I must warn you that your ship's presence will be seen as either a demonstration of strength or a threat of violence, depending on who is looking at it. We'll take that risk. We want to join the galactic community peacefully. Very well, please follow my ship to the station, and Captain? Yes? You might want to prepare for the possibility that peaceful intentions are not enough. Your ship has already changed the balance of power in the galaxy simply by existing. Some civilizations will see that as an act of war. As the peaceful dawn began moving toward the inner system, the Goliath's hammer followed. Around them, long-range sensors detected more and more ships approaching from different directions. Humanity's first contact was turning into the largest gathering of military forces the galaxy had seen in centuries. Dr. Yoon Ji-yoon worked at her station. analyzing every piece of data they were receiving about alien species and technology. What? She was learning fascinated and terrified her in equal measure. "Captain," she said quietly, "based on the sensor readings from the approaching fleets, I don't think any single alien civilization has ships as powerful as ours. But together they could destroy us easily." Deho finished. "Yes, sir. But Captain, there's something else. The aliens seem to be just as surprised by our technology as we are by theirs. I think we may have accidentally built a ship that's much more advanced than anything they expected from a new species." Sora looked up from her communications console. "Captain, I'm receiving a transmission from what appears to be a hegemony, Warship. They're requesting an alliance." "An alliance?" "They want to know if humanity is interested in joining their military expansion into unclaimed territories. They're offering to share conquered worlds with us." Deho felt a chill. "And the Federation ships?" "They're asking us to consider peaceful membership in their alliance. They want to send diplomats to Earth to discuss technology sharing and cultural exchange." The captain realized that humanity's first contact was becoming much more complicated than anyone had planned. They had built a ship to defend themselves, but that ship was being seen as a statement about human intentions. As the Goliath's hammer approached Haven's Rest, surrounded by alien fleets that could either welcome humanity to the galaxy or destroy them completely, Captain Deho Kim wondered if they had made the right choice. But there was no going back now. Humanity had announced itself to the galaxy with overwhelming force, and now they would have to live with the consequences. Haven's Rest looked like nothing Captain Deho Kim had ever imagined. The neutral station was enormous, built from materials that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal, but remained perfectly solid. It had been here for thousands of years, serving as a meeting place for civilizations that might otherwise be at war. As the Goliath's hammer approached the docking bay, Deho could see ships from dozens of different species already attached to the station. Each ship was unique, reflecting the different technologies and cultures of their builders. Some were sleek and smooth, others were geometric and angular, and a few looked like they had grown rather than being built. But none of them were even close to the size of the human warship. "Captain," Lieutenant Jun Seo-an reported from his tactical station. "The station's docking bay was not designed for a ship our size. We're going to have to use the emergency attachment points meant for battle cruisers." "Do it," Deho ordered. "Taemin, reduce power to minimum levels. I don't want anyone thinking we're preparing for a fight." Chief Engineer Taemin Lee nodded, powering down to standby mode. "But Captain, if something goes wrong..." "If something goes wrong, we'll deal with it. But we came here to talk, not to fight." Dr. Yoon Ji-yoon looked up from her science station with concern. "Captain, I've been analyzing the alien ships around the station. Combined, they represent enough firepower to destroy several solar systems. If this goes badly, then humanity's first contact will also be our last," Deho said grimly. "But we have to try." As the massive human ship attached to Haven's Rest, the station's artificial intelligence spoke in perfect English. The AI had learned human languages from the transmissions between Captain Kim and Scout Captain Velnaris during their approach. "Welcome to Haven's Rest, Captain Kim and crew of the Goliath's Hammer. I am the station's mediator system. In 50,000 years of operation, I have never processed a first contact involving a ship of your specifications." "What do you mean?" Deho asked. "Your vessel represents approximately 15% of the total military capacity currently docked at this station. For a single ship from a species new to interstellar travel, this is unprecedented." "So-rai." Choi exchanged glances with Dr. Eun Ji-yoon. 15% of the total military capacity? That meant the Goliath's hammer was as powerful as dozens of alien ships combined. "Captain," the station AI continued, "representatives from 47 different civilizations have requested meetings with you. However, protocol suggests beginning with the three major powers: the Renari Federation, the hegemony of Scythor, and the Keth Collective." "Understood. We're ready to begin." The meeting chamber was a marvel of alien engineering. The room could adjust its gravity, atmosphere, and even the flow of time to accommodate different species. As Daeho entered with Sora and Dr. Yoon Ji-yoon, he saw three very different beings waiting for them. Scout Captain Velnaris of the Renari Federation was tall and graceful, with blue-scaled skin and large eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. Her movements were fluid and peaceful. War Marshal Krexthon of the Hegemony was the opposite. He was massive and reptilian, with scarred armor and weapons that were clearly functional rather than ceremonial. He looked like he had been born for, or the representative of the Keth Collective was harder to understand. Elder Vextar appeared to be made of pure energy, contained within a humanoid field. His voice came from everywhere and nowhere at once. Captain Kim, Scout Captain Velnaris, spoke first. The Federation welcomes humanity to the galactic community. We hope to establish peaceful relations and cultural exchange. War Marshal Krexthon laughed, a sound like grinding metal. The Federation offers words and philosophy. The Hegemony offers something better: power. Your ship proves that humans understand strength. Join us, and we will conquer the galaxy together. Elder Vextar's energy field pulsed. The Keth Collective has observed the rise of civilizations for millennia. Never have we seen a species enter galactic society with such overwhelming military capability. This raises questions about human intentions. Daeho took a deep breath. The future of humanity depended on what he said next. Honored representatives, he began. Humanity built this ship not from a desire to conquer or intimidate, but from fear. For 50 years, we detected signs of advanced civilizations in the galaxy. We knew we were not alone, but we received no contact, no welcome, no sign that we would be accepted peacefully. Scout Captain Velnaris tilted her head. Captain, our protocols require that we observe developing species until they demonstrate readiness for contact. Most species reveal their readiness by building peaceful exploration vessels or sending out diplomatic signals. We tried sending signals, Dr. Yoon Ji-yoon interjected. For decades, Earth broadcast messages of peace and friendship. We received no response. War Marshal Krexthon grinned, showing sharp teeth. Because peaceful signals are weak. The galaxy respects strength, not pretty words. Your ship sends the right message. Actually, Elder Vextar said, his energy field shifting colors. Your ship sends a very complex message. Its design suggests that humanity has developed military technology far beyond what most civilizations achieve in their first 1,000 years of space travel. Sora had been quietly analyzing the alien technology around them during the meeting. She leaned over to whisper to Daeho, Captain, I think our ship isn't just bigger than theirs, I think it's more advanced. This was troubling news. If humanity had accidentally out-engineered civilizations that had been in space for thousands of years, it would explain why their arrival had caused such a stir. Captain Kim, Scout Captain Velnaris continued, we must ask directly, what are humanity's intentions in galactic society? We want to trade, to learn, to share knowledge and culture, Daeho replied. We want to be good neighbors. Then why did you bring the most powerful warship we have ever encountered? War Marshal Krexthon demanded. Because we didn't know if our neighbors were good or bad, Daeho said honestly. If the galaxy was peaceful, we hoped to learn from you. If it was hostile, we wanted to be able to protect ourselves. Elder Vextar pulsed brighter. Captain, your defensive preparations have created an offensive capability that threatens the balance of power throughout the galaxy. Even if your intentions are peaceful, your ship changes everything. The meeting was interrupted by an urgent announcement from the station AI. All representatives, please be advised that long-range sensors have detected additional human ships approaching this system. The room went silent. All eyes turned to Captain Daeho Kim. Captain, Scout Captain Velnaris said carefully, you told us this was humanity's first interstellar ship. It was, Daeho replied, feeling a sinking sensation in his stomach. Then what are the 5 ships of similar size currently 3 days away from this position? Daeho activated his communication device to contact Admiral Park back on Earth. When her voice came through, it brought news that would shake the galaxy. Captain Kim, I hope your diplomatic meetings are going well. I'm calling to inform you that the second wave of Earth's exploration fleet has just launched. 5 more ships of the Goliath class plus support vessels. Earth's government decided that if first contact went well, we should be prepared to establish a permanent presence in interstellar space. War Marshal Krexthon stood up so suddenly that his chair fell over. You built more of these ships? Captain, Elder Vextar said, his energy field now pulsing rapidly. How many ships like yours does humanity possess? Dr. Yunji Yoon was looking at her scanner in shock. Captain, according to Admiral Park's transmission, Earth's orbital shipyards are currently constructing 20 more ships of our class, plus smaller vessels for support roles. The implications hit everyone in the room at the same time. Humanity had not just built one overwhelmingly powerful warship. They had built an entire fleet of them. Scout Captain Velnaris spoke very carefully. Captain Kim, a single ship like yours could challenge most civilizations in the galaxy. If humanity has dozens of such ships, then humanity is no longer a developing species seeking membership in galactic society. Elder Vextar finished. You are a new galactic superpower, whether you intended to be or not. War Marshal Krexthon was grinning again, but there was something dangerous in his eyes now. The hegemony's offer of alliance stands, Captain. But now it comes with a warning. You are either with us or against us. There is no neutral position for a power like humanity. As alarms began sounding throughout Haven's Rest, indicating that military fleets were powering up their weapon systems, Captain Dae-ho Kim realized that humanity's attempt at peaceful first contact was about to become the galaxy's first interstellar crisis in thousands of years. The age of human power had arrived, and the galaxy was not ready for it. The tension in the meeting chamber was thick enough to cut with a knife. Captain Dae-ho Kim could feel the weight of galactic history pressing down on him as he looked at the 3 alien representatives. Outside Haven's Rest, dozens of alien fleets were positioning themselves for what might become the largest space battle in recorded history. I need to make something very clear, Dae-ho said, standing up slowly. Humanity did not come to the galaxy seeking war. We came seeking our place among the stars. War Marshal Krexthon's reptilian features twisted into what might have been a smile. Captain, intentions matter less than capabilities. Your species has built a fleet that could conquer half the galaxy. That changes everything. Actually, Dr. Yunji Yoon interrupted, looking up from her datapad. I think there's been a misunderstanding about our capabilities. All eyes turned to the young scientist. She had been quietly analyzing the technical specifications of the alien ships around Haven's Rest, comparing them to the Goliath's hammer. Our ship isn't just bigger than yours, she continued. It's built using completely different principles. While you've developed elegant, efficient technologies over thousands of years, we developed crude but powerful ones over just a few decades. Elder. Vextar's energy field pulsed with interest. Explain. Your ships use advanced materials and precise engineering to achieve maximum efficiency. Our ship uses massive brute force systems because we didn't know how to make them elegant. We over-engineered everything because we were afraid it might not work. Scout Captain Velnaris leaned forward. You're saying your technology is primitive? I'm saying it's different, Dr. Yunji-yoon replied. We solved the problem of interstellar travel by building bigger engines. We solved the problem of defense by building thicker armor. We solved the problem of weapons by building more powerful guns. It works, but it's not sophisticated. Chief, Engineer Taemin Lee's voice came through the communication system from the Goliath's hammer. Captain Dr. Yoon is right. I've been analyzing the alien ship designs through our sensors. Their technology is centuries ahead of ours in terms of efficiency and elegance. But our technology produces more raw power, because we didn't know any better. War Marshal Krexthon was no longer smiling. Are you telling us that you built these ships by accident? That you stumbled into becoming a galactic superpower? Not by accident, Dae-ho corrected. By fear. We knew there were advanced civilizations out there, so we prepared for the worst possible scenario. We built ships that could fight entire fleets because we thought we might have to. The station's AI spoke up suddenly. Captain Kim, analysis of your ship's construction methods suggests that humanity developed several technologies independently. that other civilizations required thousands of years to perfect. However, you combine them in ways that prioritize power over efficiency. Sora Choi had been monitoring communications between the various alien fleets. She looked up with worry. "Captain, the hegemony fleet is moving into attack position. They're demanding that humanity choose sides immediately." Elder Vextar's energy field grew brighter. "The Keth Collective has reached a decision. We believe humanity's rapid development represents a unique case in galactic history. Your species appears to have compressed normal technological evolution into a few decades through sheer determination and fear." "What does that mean for us?" Deho asked. "It means you are neither the primitive newcomers we expected nor the aggressive conquerors some fear. You are something new." Scout Captain Velnaris activated her own communication system. "Federation Command, this is Velnaris. Recommend immediate deployment of the Diplomatic Protection Fleet. We have a situation that requires careful handling." War Marshal Krexthon stood up angrily. "The hegemony will not be ignored. Captain Kim, you have 60 seconds to declare your allegiance, or we will consider humanity an enemy." The moment was interrupted by an alert from Lieutenant Jun Seo-an aboard the Goliath's Hammer. "Captain, I'm detecting massive energy signatures approaching the system. Sir, it's the Earth fleet. All 5 ships just dropped out of faster than light. Travel." The main display in the meeting chamber lit up with tactical information. 5 more ships identical to the Goliath's Hammer had arrived, along with smaller support vessels. The combined human fleet now represented more military power than any single alien civilization had brought to Haven's Rest. "By the Void, War Marshal," Krexthon whispered, his aggressive manner suddenly replaced by something that looked like respect. "How did a species develop this much power so quickly?" Admiral Hyjin Park's voice came through the communication system, transmitted from the lead ship of the new fleet. "Captain Kim, this is Admiral Park aboard the Earthforge. We detected multiple alien fleets converging on your position and came prepared for any situation." Deho felt the weight of command settling on his shoulders. His next words would determine whether humanity joined the galactic community peacefully or began a war that could destroy civilizations. "Admiral Park, we are in diplomatic negotiations. Please maintain defensive positions but do not power weapons unless attacked." "Understood, Captain." For what it's worth, Earth's deep space sensors detected dozens of alien ships moving toward the Alpha Centauri system. "We thought you might need backup." Elder Vextar pulsed with what might have been amusement. "Captain Kim, your species continues to surprise us. Most civilizations, when faced with overwhelming alien presence, would either submit or retreat. Humanity sent reinforcements." "We don't abandon our people," Deho said simply. "Even when those people are outnumbered 50 to 1? Especially then." The meeting chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had not just built powerful warships. They had built them with the intention of fighting impossible odds if necessary. Scout Captain Velnaris broke the silence. "Captain Kim, the Renari Federation would like to propose a new form of membership in galactic society. Rather than the standard process of gradual integration, we believe humanity should be granted immediate status as a major power." "What does that mean?" "It means recognition that humanity has the military capacity to enforce its will on galactic affairs. It means a permanent seat on the Galactic Council. It means that other civilizations must treat Earth as an equal, rather than a developing world." War Marshal Krexthon had been thinking during the exchange. "The hegemony withdraws its ultimatum. Captain Kim, we would like to propose a mutual non-aggression pact. Your fleet is powerful enough that war between us would devastate both civilizations." "And the Keth Collective?" Deho asked. Elder Vextar's energy field shifted to a calmer blue. "We will observe and advise as we always have. But Captain, your species has compressed 10,000 years of normal galactic development into 50 years of desperate preparation. The galaxy will never be the same." Dr. Yun Ji-yoon was still analyzing data from the alien fleets. "Captain, I'm seeing something interesting. Several of the alien civilizations are already modifying their ship designs based on our technology. They're trying to copy our approach to weapons and shields. Is that good or bad?" "It's evolution," Elder Vexutar answered. Your species has introduced new concepts to galactic military thinking: brute force engineering, massive power systems, redundant defensive measures. Other civilizations will adapt these ideas and improve on them. Sora looked up from her communications console. Captain, I'm receiving messages from dozens of alien civilizations. They're requesting trade agreements, technology exchanges, and diplomatic missions to Earth. And some of them, War Marshal Krexthon added with his predatory grin, are asking about purchasing human-designed warships. The irony was not lost on Captain Daeho Kim. Humanity had built warships to defend themselves from the galaxy, and now the galaxy wanted to buy those same warships for their own defense. Captain, Admiral Park's voice came through the communication system again. Earth's government has authorized me to establish the first permanent human colony outside our solar system. If these negotiations go well, we're prepared to begin immediate settlement operations. Scout Captain Velnaris nodded approvingly. The Federation will provide settlement assistance and cultural advisors. Captain Kim, humanity's integration into galactic society will be unlike anything we've experienced before. As the meeting continued, representatives from dozens of other civilizations requested permission to address the humans. Trade agreements were proposed, military partnerships suggested, and cultural exchange programs outlined. But perhaps most importantly, the balance of power in the galaxy had permanently shifted. Humanity had not conquered anyone, but their simple presence had changed everything. The age of careful diplomacy and gradual development was over. The galaxy now had to deal with a species that approached problems by building bigger solutions, that prepared for war by actually building the tools of war, and that responded to threats by sending more ships rather than negotiating. 3 months later, as Captain Daeho Kim stood on the observation deck of Haven's Rest, he watched human and alien ships working together to establish the first truly integrated galactic colony. The Goliath's Hammer was no longer the largest ship in the system. That honor now belonged to the massive construction vessel that Earth had sent to build humanity's first interstellar city.